Hey everybody, Arcalian here. I thought I would just post this little kind of mini in-between update since the upcoming episode of Silent Hill Threshold is taking me a little longer than normal. I'll go into details in a little bit, but yeah, I just wanted to kind of show everybody sort of how I did what I've done so far, at least a little bit. There'll probably be a couple episodes of these. And I'd like to see more people do like Silent Hill projects, and there's probably people out there that can do even better than me. So here's a few basics. If you load into gmod, obviously it's very pretty and colorful, and it's in first person. The biggest thing, if you're going to do some sort of Silent Hill machinima or Silent Hill mock-up or anything like that, is to get it in third person. First thing you have to do is go into the console and do SV... Well, screwed that up. SB cheats 1. Now, I have a lot of this stuff hotkeyed already, but there is a command that's just third person in console, and that's what it does. Third person. I have a couple other things that are really useful. Honestly, obviously, if you are going to do your own Silent Hill thing, you're probably not going to want the HUD, since traditional Silent Hill games don't have a HUD. So I believe that is... and I'll put these on screen in case I'm not typing them out, but I believe it's CL draw HUD 0, and I hotkeyed that to U, so I can get rid of that on and off command if I need it. And also, like, this isn't quite the movement, nor is it the distance of a Silent Hill camera. So there's a couple camera controls that you need to know. Let's see, I believe it is... they all start with cam, for camera. So I do cam, ideal lag. I usually do 40 or 50. Let's do 40 for right now. And see that? It's a much more, like, as you turn, it kind of has a slower follow to it. We can even go... Let's do 70. See what that's like. Oh, yeah. You also need the walk button because your Silent Hill character typically doesn't run or sprint everywhere. So that's a much better camera turning speed. You kind of want to see the side of my face and stuff like that when I turn. It's much more Silent Hill. Now it's also a little bit too far away. So I believe it is cam ideal dist, which means distance. Right now it's at 150. Let's make that 100. And that pulls it in a little bit. My feet are cut off, but I believe I can also adjust cam ideal height. Or that's right. It's dist up, which is distance up and down. And right now it's at 0. So let's do like negative 25, and then it drops it like that. That's still a little, like, too head-on. I'd probably, honestly, take this up a little bit. Let's do 10, and then we'll do cam ideal dist at 115. There we go. So that is about, I think, where you would see a Silent Hill character. Like at Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 3, this is about the perspective you're going to get. It might be a little bit higher, and you can adjust, as needed. I like being able to see the character's feet, and have that. I think this is a pretty good distance to have everything lined up. So, another thing is, as you'll notice, I'm walking around a lot with no weapon in the videos I've put up so far. That is a weapon that I downloaded. It's here in other, called hands. I believe it's machinima hands in the workshop. And that makes me do this. And I got a nice walking animation, and now I can explore. So that is also a very useful tool as well. Now, clearly this level doesn't look very Silent Hilly. But you can kind of make any level look Silent Hilly if you are given if you know the right things to do. Like, this is going to be a super simple version of this, but obviously the one thing we're going to need is fog. Well, that's not quite the right fog, is it? Now, Silent Hill fog is a lot more kind of dark, gray brown. So you can right click this, edit properties, and this will let you do a color. You don't see any brown in here, but when you want to do brown in any of these color wheels, what you want to look for is orange, and then you kind of go here-ish, where orange starts fading into black, and that's where you can get a nice brown. Let's go. That looks pretty good right there. And then, obviously, it's too far away, so we're going to bring in the distance. Looks pretty good. And then you can make it thicker or thinner as you want. Let's make it pretty thick here. Sky is obviously too blue. Let's actually try to make that as close to the fog color as we can. Already we're looking pretty bleak here. Let's move this out of the way. Let's see, edit properties. Yeah, so we've got a blue top, a blue bottom, and a dust color of red. So let's make all of them similar. We'll do this kind of yellow-orange here-ish. And then we'll do this one, same. And this guy, same. This one might be too yellow. Either that or my dust color is off. Aha, yes. There we go. Alright. Not bad. But this also isn't the a level of choice that you'd want to use as a Silent Hill level, just because there's so much sky, and it's difficult to get the sky in, you know, the exact way you want it to look. But, you know, like I said, this is just super basic stuff right here. So, this camera is the third-person follow camera, but there's another type of camera you can do. I'm going to switch back into first-person here. I've toggled my third and first persons, so it's easy for me to switch between the two. But if you go into camera, you can either set one up and then walk in front of it, and then this is a set camera. But if you alt-fire, you get a camera that follows you wherever you go. And that is how I did a lot of the fixed perspective camera work that you saw in the videos that I have done so far. Super duper easy. With that, let's take a look at some of the maps I used. And I'll put the map titles in, I'll put them on screen. I'll also put them in the video description. But, yeah, let's start a new game. The first one we're going to look at is High-Rise Apartment Lights Out. This map is of a apartment building, and the lights are off, which made it creepier because I wanted it to be at night. This is the bed where we started. And this is the bathroom where it ends with you teleporting into the other world. Fairly simple. I believe I put a light in here to illuminate things because it is super duper dark. It's actually a little bit too light. I feel like that guy probably would have, my main character Joseph would probably have a little difficulty sleeping if the light was as light as it was. I was doing color there instead of light. I'm having a problem concentrating on doing two things at once. See, now it's difficult for me to look at what I'm doing because my HUD is off, so we'll turn that back on. So I wanted my guy illuminated, and I also wanted people to be able to see what's going on. As you can see, it's still way too dark. So we'll do edit properties. We'll make this, that's probably about where it was, honestly. You can either do this for massive upsy downsies, or you can go here. If you just click this, it gives this. And also, if you move your mouse up or down, it allows you to like change how sensitive your changes are. So I believe we were about like that. Now, honestly, we don't want this. By the way, brightness and radius are like, I feel like it's not like there's any difference. It doesn't feel like, anyway. It might be intensity and like how far it goes, but I mean, if you're turning up the radius, it's also turning up the brightness, so whatever. think you could see the door a little bit. Yeah, so it's probably something like that. Obviously, when I'm recording, you don't want to see this light bulb hanging out over this lamp, so that's when you use the color tool. Take this, well, it will change the color if you change the color. But this right here is how visible it is, so you take it all the way down. Invisible. Let me get my crosshair back, too. So this is, oh, and then it was simple to just go up here, put a camera up. There we go. And here we are. That's the only thing. When you made things invisible, though, they're still there, so you can see the shadow of the light bulb that I have above the lamp there. So that's caused me some problems because I have to put in objects in certain maps to do things. But you know, it's just something you have to work around. But yeah, this is how I did this room here. Yeah. Anyway, let's go into the next room. So this is the kitchen by default. As you can see, it's super duper dark. You can only see my little flashlight thing. I don't know if I'll cover how I got the flashlight on me in this episode. I might wait for the next one. This is already super long. This is already longer than I thought it was going to be. Obviously, I can't see where I'm going. It's also really hard to walk around in third person sometimes. But I liked how it looked. I liked the city outside. And I did another camera here. I wanted it in a good position where you could see me standing at the door. You'll see that in a second here, and to be able to see the sink as well as the outside. So think about your third-person camera positioning if you're going to do anything like this. Now, to get this kitchen illuminated and make it look nice and be able to see my character, what I actually did was we're going to make a lamp with a high FOV to give it the illusion that the city is creating light that is pouring through these windows. So we'll do a lamp. That's probably about the right color. We're going to have a super high FOV on this thing, and then we can adjust the other things as needed, because that's going to be way too bright. I like the distance. We want a lot of distance on this, but let's see, properties, brightness, too much. That is probably closer to it, and then we'll just crank the distance up. We'll make it invisible. Luckily it still lights up, so you can kind of know where it is, and if you have trouble finding it, remember the shadow shows up as well. So I have I have made things invisible and then lost them. It does happen. What we're also going to do is I have a no collide everything tool. First we're going to want to grab it and position it because I don't want to hit it with this and have it fall through the floor. But no collide everything there. I'm going to turn it this way. You know, let's do that FOV even higher. And then we're going to back it up out the window. There you have it. This isn't quite right because this is blocking, and now I can't go get it because it's outside the map. So if you ever do something like that, like, oop, I can't get it now, I have a delete button that just does that. I set my undo to the actual delete key. But yeah, that's the long and short of how I did that. Alright, so the second map, unfortunately it was a construction map and I deleted it, but it is, let's see, start new game, GM Darkgrass. And this is basically just a pitch black map. Here we are. This is an interesting map as well because the draw distance is very low, as you can see. With my flashlight on, it's drawing the map as you go. It's super easy to get lost, which I may have just done. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, so that's right. It's not really the draw distance is off, but it's like when you turn on your flashlight, it changes draw distance. It's very, very strange. But essentially, this is just a map that I used to build that nightmare level. It was all made out of props, mostly staircases. So it's mostly these types. I believe it's all these in here. And honestly, I just I set them up and connected them all together. Added some other ones to put some enemies on in the distance. And that's pretty much it. There we go. Luckily, they're physical objects, so I can walk up and down on them. Also, when you switch maps, you have to do third person. You have to do the SV cheats again, which is annoying. But hey, whatever. Super dark map. You'll probably want to add in a light, something like this. But yeah, I just put a bunch of platforms together and, you know, put in some objects, and this particular map has an interesting feature. We're going to go back into first person mode here, and then we're going to clip. There is a little control room down here, and it allows you to add the soundscape, which gives it the creepy sounds that you heard, and you can add rain. So we've got like some wind, and you'll hear these little kind of creepy background noises that I thought fit really well with the Silent Hill aesthetic. There you go. The other button was for the light. You can turn this light on and off if you like. But yeah, cool, creepy little map. And if you're pretty good at putting props together and building your own rooms, this is a nice one. So the last bit I'll cover in this episode is the third-person driving, and God, that was a pain in the ass. I actually used a couple levels from Half-Life 2 Episode 2 for most of it, the ones kind of when you're driving around with Alex. I'm not going to show that right now because there's a bunch of stuff I have to do to, like, I have to delete Alex, and I have to make sure no Combine show up, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. So I'll show this other one instead. I think this is the first one I used. It's called GM White Forest Raceway, and this one has a fix. I guess there was another one, but you'll be able to find it, I'm sure. This is the stretch of road that I used. I believe I set the camera up just before the tunnel over here. And then we're going to start the car over here. Now, driving in third person toward a camera, so all of your controls are backwards. Maybe some of you would be naturals at it. I was terrible at it. I downloaded a mod called PT Cars. I believe I used this Corvette, and there is a black skin available. There we go. So I'd start recording here, and then I would just do my best. So let's see. Oh, okay. See, already gone completely off the rails. It's just every instinct that you have as far as turning, and I also wanted to try and stay in lane as much as I could because I didn't want my character. It's actually better than I did, I think, in the video. Jeez. Also, wow, that wasn't bad. All right, good for me. Also, if you just lay on the gas, he goes way too fast. So I'm like tapping the accelerator key. Alright, turned around here. I'll show you some bloopers of me driving because it was difficult, and now I'm stuck behind a tree. So I'll show you this blooper here where I went off a cliff. So, I don't know, that took me a really, really, really long time. So that's all I'll bore you with for right now. Next time I'll go through this map here, This is the house. Obviously looks a lot different than from when I had it done, and I'll show you how I did that to kind of get these colors to be a little more washed out, because it's too bright and colorful and sunny and cheerful to be scary. But you know, you could probably tell already that I added fog like I showed you to do earlier, but there's also some color tools you can use to get things to be a little more washed out, and just some of the things inside the house that I was able to do to make it a little creepier, more Silent Hilly, and how I was able to kind of stitch everything together to make it like one solid, give it the appearance of one single level. But for right now, I'll cut this a little short just because I've probably been talking for way too long. I am still working on Silent Hill Threshold Episode 3. The big thing about that is that I have an NPC showing up, so I needed someone else to record lines for me, and that's taking a little bit of time because all the people I know that can do lines are kind of busy. That's what's taken me so long. Once I get through that, I'll probably actually burn through the rest of the episode pretty quickly, and hopefully have it to you. I'm going to try and have it to you before the end of March. March is pretty packed for me as far as like extracurricular activities though, so I'm traveling quite a bit, so we'll see. But don't worry, it's not done. I definitely want to finish this. Way too many both Silent Hill and Gmod projects get started on YouTube and never finish, and I don't want to be one of those guys. So stay tuned. Talk to you guys later. Bye.